Planet of the Fakes. And Pigstar HH News. The looters are sought after with HD cameras and face recognition software. Some are captured. CPD don't forget about the shooters in the hood. Crime Chaser. Maybe some of them are shooters and now they can find/arrest them. Moan thing I can say. What about the homeless people or people can't pay their bills? Where is the help at? But y'all got time for the damn looters. I'm not saying it's not, but look at the big picture. It's nothing for them to do. Where is the help at y'all? Police brutality. Knob teach. They people get out of control for no reason. You play with fire? Yoats gets burned. The new generation don't know understand the face recognition system can locate anyone that ever took a state ID picture or in the criminal system in less than 5 minutes they have your information. Game is over in these streets. That's how they are locating them. I said the same thing. Cameras in all the red zones property over our live, so I guess they feel downtown matters instead of Black Lives Matters. Chicago looters smash the doors to Ronald McDonald House while 30 frightened families along with their sick kids huddled inside the children's charity. Looting Ronald McDonald House. A charity house where sick kids are? Man, this world has turned upside down. There used to be rules. You didn't touch kids, elderly or sick. This has gotten way out of hand. I can't even begin to imagine what those families felt. Just maddening. Yet people are screaming defund the police. This narrative is old and it's caused irreparable damage. The means didn't justify the end on this one. Not for the people it didn't. This makes me furious and absolutely sick to my stomach. These families and their children are going through the worst possible nightmare and now this, being terrorized by these thugs. What has happened to our country? My grandson and his parents are in a Ronald McDonald's house. I cannot comprehend such meanness and recklessness. I just can't. So many friends of mine living in Nike, Portland, Seattle, and now Chicago, who all are planning to relocate because of how bad it is. Crying face. Marilu Lagman add Minneapolis to the list. Tammy Schroeder. That's right, and that's also my employer's headquarters. It's troubling that we have to surrender our cities to anarchists because our elected officials don't want to do their jobs. Marilu Lagman. Yeah, keep them out of my state. We don't need stupid Democratic voting people here, destroying our cities. Kerry Wood. They're not Democrats. Crying face. Marilu Lagman. I'm talking about the people in those states in general. I am in South Florida. We're suddenly having a horrible New York/New Jersey problem. Angry face with censoring symbols over mouth. Kerry Wood. Totally. So sad for these families and for the city. I used to love traveling to Chicago. Don't know now if I can ever travel there again. I had many beautiful memories walking the streets with my family. Seeing the beautiful sights, riding the buses around the city. So sad not to feel safe. Pensive face. Mayor Lighthead needs an adjustment. I told my hubby, we will not ever go to Chicago again as long as it is run by Democrats cause it is scary, and we went there once and it was just starting to go downhill. Wow, I do feel bad for the good Americans there, but wow, who voted this awful lady in? Terry Field. Lots of places here are just fine minus it's just the Democratic run big cities that are tolerating these riots. This is not going on everywhere by any means. Patricia Claus. I would even stay in the states where those cities the mobs are heading out to suburbs now. They are leaving. Man who bought the house next to us is from there and his whole family came. I mean, his mom, brothers, sisters and their kids. They are not all moving into that house, but they all came to this town. Glad to have them, good people. That's freaking sad. Depressing. And pisses me off. But at least they are still together. And I hope that others that want to can do the same. Vay Casperson. Tell the family they should register to vote very soon. Rinny Majaki. Funny, one of the guys already told me he is Trump all the way and started to tell me why I should go Trump and I agreed and let him know my family is Trump supporters. So I know they will vote Trump. One is an X-ray technician. Wife social services. Call in the guard. Ronald McDonald House is a caring and safe place for families to be together when they need it the most. My brother and his wife stayed at one in Sacramento when their little girl was dying. For this to happen is so disrespectful and disgusting. I can't even begin to know how these parents and children must have felt. Pensive face. Praying for all. Person with folded hands, medium light skin tone, person with folded hands, medium light skin tone, person with folded hands, medium light skin tone. Hopefully the fine folks of Chicago will now vote out the corrupt and inept politicians running their city. They obviously don't care about you minus because they continue to let this happen. Doesn't anyone ever wonder why they're not taking action? Take your city back minus vote them out. As a mom who has stayed at the Ronald McDonald House in New York City, Atlanta and Rochester, Minnesota, this is incredibly unbelievable. Who the hell does that to families in crisis? It brings me to tears. I can't imagine adding that terror to a situation that is already a nightmare. Someone has to do something. This has to stop. Candace Grindle. She said not to vote for Biden. She literally ended her rant with "Vote for Trump." Candace Grindle: "No, I do not want Pedo Joe in office. I know Harris dated SF Mayor Willie Brown, slept her way around. They both were from my state of CA. She got it around W cuddling W Willie Brown. I know about both of them, especially hers. He even said she is not qualified to be a president. I hope Biden don't get elected. But she still has years on her side to go for 2024. Margaret Kotowski: long overdue. This is domestic terrorism and it should have been stopped immediately. Margaret Kotowski: their governor needs to stand up and do it. If Trump does it, they will use it against him. Each state has to take responsibility for their citizens. They need to decide what is more important, bowing to the mob or law and order. What is wrong with these people? I just do not understand the lack of compassion. I was blessed to stay at a Ronald McDonald House when my son was hospitalized. There were so many families there, struggling while their children were hospitalized with life-threatening diagnosis. Ronald McDonald House is a safe haven for so many, while these looters in Chicago were. Well, there must be a special place hell for people like this to do such things. This breaks my heart in more ways than anyone can imagine. Crying face, how much lower can these destroyers of our society sink? There is no justification whatsoever. This has nothing to do with peace, bettering our communities, or anything at all to do with justice. Only now did Lori Lightfoot have anything to say to condemn these riots in downtown Chicago. Where on earth has she been all this time? Now it's in her neighborhood. She's a day late and $1 short. Good luck trying to clean up. Those people don't care. Doesn't matter which building they were smashing into. The fact that this was known before the fact and bridges were drawn. This behavior is evil. The people paying to create it are evil. Enough is enough. This is about as low as someone could go. Please find these low-life people and put them in prison. Everyone wants justice for all. What the **K is going on? Recalling China's way of dealing with protesters that got out of hand. Soldiers, guns, tanks. Somehow, in view of the inaction of city government leaders, the idea is not quite so appalling now as it was then. Still don't condone that extreme, but someone needs to restore law and order. My BFF and I stayed in the Ronald McDonald House while her son had heart surgery. It was filled with people from all walks of life and different countries caring for an ill family member. It was also filled with love and kindness shared with all. I count my experience there as one of the most meaningful and enriching of my life. That's pathetic. I'm so mad about the Ronald McDonald House. It looks and sounds like the police were told to stand down in Chicago, because when they showed the rioting downtown, the police were basically just standing behind the looters when they were breaking into stores along the Magnificent Mile. It's one thing when some peacefully protested to let their voice be heard. This has been going too far for too long now. Let the military step in person with folded hands, medium light skin tone. This is unbelievable. There is no good reason to turn to violence and scare tactics. Chicago needs better leaders and, at this point, the National Guard should be activated to secure peace and safety for Chicago's citizens. A direct quote from a BLM organizer in Chicago, that is reparations. A BLM organizer said, anything they wanted to take, they can take it because these businesses have insurance. They also held a rally in support of those arrested for looting and smashing windows. If people stay there and support the mayor and the city, they are also part of the problem. Chicago is a nothing city. Get out of there, and if the kids and families don't feel safe, what are you waiting for? I hope it will be a mass exodus. Seriously? People are surprised. What did they think was going to happen? Looks like Chicago pride is in the toilet, swirling down to third world country status. Dump the people responsible, starting with the mayor. And Kamala Harris is helping to pay the bail for these types of evil people. We need law and order. She not only helped fund them, she asked others to help as well. So did Biden's staffers. All that money should be spent rebuilding the damage the protesters did, instead of taxpayers paying for it. The president needs to declare martial law in these states that have all this looting and crime going on. The government in these states have no backbone to stand up to these people, so the president needs to protect the law-abiding people. We pay taxes and deserve to live peaceful without threat to our lives, etc. This is insane that people are allowed to do this with no repercussions. I'm fed up with this country allowing this to continue. I cannot even walk down my street for a walk because get harassed. If another country attacked us like this, be done, but because domestic, it's just a free-for-all. I'm disgusted. The Ronald McDonald House helped us so much when our son was born. The families that stay there are dealing with devastating issues already. I can't imagine a violent mob on top of that, and with this population of fragile children. This is exactly what the Dems want. People abandon their property, don't pay taxes, and bingo, city claims property for back taxes. Welcome socialism. Say hi to Venezuela. This absolutely breaks my heart for the Ronald McDonald House staff and volunteers and the families staying there, while their kids are receiving medical care and treatment far from home. They don't even feel safe walking the 5 blocks back and forth between the house and the hospital now. My family stays at the house in Houston every 3 months for testing and procedures at Texas Children's for my 17-year-old son's heart condition and St. Luke.